Welcome back to the course. At this point, you have already learned a great deal in guitar playing, but it doesn't stop here. On the contrary, in this last lesson, I will show you some advanced picking exercises, and at the end, I will give you one of my best pieces of advice to help you improve your playing on the guitar. This first exercise I'm going to show you is very challenging for your right hand. So really practice this slowly in the beginning. On the other hand, quite literally, your left hand is doing almost nothing because it only mutes the strings. So put your left hand on the neck and rest your fingers on the strings. Now with your right hand, we're playing 4 notes on each string. Actually, since we're muting the strings, we're not really playing anything, but we're still picking the strings. Start on the low E string by picking the string 4 times using alternate picking. After this, move to the A string and pick that string 4 times. Still easy at this point. Then go back to the low E string and again picking 4 times. And here comes the challenging part. Skip the A string and go to the D string and pick that string 4 times. Now back to the low E string, picking 4 times. Then to the G string, and so on. Basically, the low E string is your anchor point. Let me play it for you without talking. Once you play that, we can do the exercise the other way with a high E string as your anchor point. And when you put both of them together, it sounds like this. Be sure to practice this with a metronome and gradually increase your speed. It's really not an easy exercise, so take a step back if you're feeling frustrated and try again some other time. The next exercise also involves the left hand. You hopefully practiced and remember the 4 note per string exercise I showed you in the first lesson. In this lesson, we're going to change the exercise a little bit so you can play it over the whole fretboard. The beginning stays exactly the same, so 4 notes per string all the way up to the high E string. But then, once you've played the last note, shift the position to the next fret. And then descend. Once you're back down, shift again 1 fret further and ascend. And then shift again and descend. Theoretically, you can play this all the way up the neck, but it gets a little hard for the left hand up here, where the frets are very skinny. To make it more challenging for the picking hand, play this exact exercise with an upstroke as opposed to starting with a downstroke. Practice this too with a metronome. There is only one more exercise I'm going to show you in this lesson, but there is a reason for it. It is the ultimate picking exercise. First, I'm going to play it for you and we'll then break it down. So here it is explained. Again, start on the low E string. Could be any fret you want, but I like starting on the 5th fret for this exercise. The beginning is rather similar to the one I showed you before. Play 4 notes on the low E string, starting with the index finger. Then move to the A string, but only play the first note, because notes 2, 3, and 4 are back on the low E string. After this, play the first and second note on the A string. And notes 3 and 4 on the low E string. Then 3 notes on A and 1 on E. And lastly, 4 notes on the A string. So this is what we have so far. Once you played that, repeat the whole pattern, but this time starting on the A string. Then again repeat, but on the D string. G string, B string, Now that you reach the high E string, you just have to play it backwards, starting with your pinky. Play 4 notes on the high E string. Play 1 note on the B string and 3 notes on the high E string. 2 on B, 2 on E. 3 on B, 1 on E. And finally 4 on B. Then you can repeat this pattern until you're back on the low E string. Once again, here's the exercise put together. When you play runs on the guitar, there are different ways to get to the next note and where you are coming from. Are you coming from a downstroke or an upstroke? Are you going to a new string? Are you going to a higher string or a lower string? With this exercise, you're really practicing all possible combinations. That's what this exercise is for. All the exercises I showed you in this lesson are really not easy to play, so don't give up. And if they are just too hard for you, that's okay also, but keep practicing your other exercises and come back to these new exercises at a later point. But if your intention is to practice them, here's your homework. Practice the exercise I showed you in this lesson slowly with a metronome. Gradually increase your speed. And of course, in any case, keep practicing your chords, palm muting, the minor pentatonic scale, and everything else I showed you in this course. As promised, here's some advice to help you improve your playing on the guitar. Firstly, always try to have fun. There's almost no point in it when you are not having fun. Of course, practicing can be frustrating and stressful. In that case, take a break and come back later with a fresh mind. Secondly, try practicing every day. If you can't practice every day, then that's the way it is. But at least try to practice consistently. You don't have to practice every day for 3 hours. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day practicing something new is very valuable. That's actually the next advice. Always try to learn something new on the guitar. Whether it be a technique you haven't practiced yet or a new song, it doesn't really matter. Because it can become very boring to practice something you already know over and over again. And my last 3, maybe most important pieces of advice are practice, practice, practice. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the course. I hope you have learned a lot and will continue to practice and play the guitar. Maybe you even found some friends you can make music with. I want to thank you for watching and coming along on the guitar journey. Maybe someday I will see you in season 2 of this course. Until then, take care. Bye.